When OPPO announced the launch of K1 in the Indian market, a lot of users, critics and experts started calling the most feature device in the mid-range segment. So we thought why not test it with another popular mid-ranger, the Samsung A7, the triple camera smartphone. So let's first talk about the design and display of both the devices. K1 has a sleek design with tapered edges, rounded corners. The back has a gradient design and comes in two colors, piano black and astral blue. The perfect balance of weight and ergonomics make K1 extremely comfortable to hold. K1 also features 6.41 inches Full HD Plus display with Corning Gorilla Glass 5 for protection. Since the phone has its fingerprint sensor under the display, OPPO has had to use an AMOLED panel, which makes it the only phone in this segment to have an AMOLED panel and in-glass fingerprint scanner at this price. It has a water drop notch at the top, so there's plenty of screen real estate available for use. The bezels around the display is visible, but it's not very thick, and neither is the chin at the bottom. On the right is the power button. The left uses volume rockers along with SIM tray that can accommodate 2 nano SIM cards and a micro SD card up to 256 GB. Dual 4G VoLTE is also supported. At the bottom you get the speaker grill, a micro USB port and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the other hand, the A7 has a mid-frame that is sandwiched between glass on the front and rear. The bezels on the sides are so thick that they're an eyesore. Same goes for the bezels on the top and bottom. The earpiece, selfie camera, flash and the sensors are placed above the screen, while the space below it is blank. Samsung has used a 6-inch Super AMOLED FHD Plus panel on the A7. You get the micro USB port, 3.5mm headphone jack, a loudspeaker grill at the bottom of the phone, while the top has only the secondary microphone. The power button has an integrated fingerprint scanner and is positioned on the right along with the volume buttons. So if you're planning to use a fingerprint scanner as a security measure, then make sure you're a right-handed person, else it's very odd and inconvenient. Talking about the processing capabilities, A7 comes with a homegrown Exynos 7885 octa-core processor with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of ROM, whereas the K1 has a Snapdragon 660 chipset, 4GB of RAM and 64GB of ROM. Gaming on the OPPO K1 is great. Games like Asphalt 9 Legends was perfectly smooth with graphics at high preset, while PUBG Mobile delivered consistent playable frame rate at medium graphics setting and no heating at all even after 30 minutes of continuous gameplay. Samsung A7 with Exynos 7885 is not underpowered by any means, but when compared to SoCs like Snapdragon 660, it falls short in gameplay performance. We played PUBG and it recommended the medium graphics preset. We did observe occasional lag while playing and the device got little warm after 30 minutes. We also did a few benchmark tests, but we don't recommend deciding a device on the basis of benchmark test results. K1 comes with ColorOS version 5.2 on top of Android 8.1 Oreo. ColorOS is iOS-like, but it comes back with customizations. On your leftmost home screen lives the Smart Assistant, giving you quick access to specific functions and other glanceable information such as weather, calendar and step tracker. The game space has an upgraded look, and OPPO's HyperBoost game optimization features support PUBG Mobile. You also get additional features such as Smart Sidebar, which is pop-up tray for app shortcuts, Smart Scan, which lets you do multilingual translations, and O-roaming, which creates a virtual SIM card with affordable data packs when you're overseas. Other than the system apps, there aren't a lot of pre-installed third-party apps other than Facebook. The Galaxy A7 2018 comes with Android 8.0 Oreo with its custom experience UI overlay. There are a few customizations, but you get a lot of apps pre-installed, a dozen unwanted apps to be exact. The settings app is slightly different what you get on stock Android, so navigating in settings gets annoying. There are a few valuable features like game tools, dual messenger, smart stay and chat over video included in Experience UI. The Galaxy A7 consists of a 24-megapixel primary camera with 1.7 aperture, a 5-megapixel depth sensor with a f2.2 aperture, and an 8-megapixel sensor with an ultra-wide lens and f2.4 aperture. Even with the 3-lens setup, the camera fails in low light. Though it's a good try by Samsung to launch a triple camera in mid-range, but the fact that the wide angle is seldomly used makes it more of a gimmick. For video, A7 can shoot up to 1080p resolution. OPPO has used a 16-megapixel camera and a depth sensor on the rear, and a bigger 25-megapixel sensor with f2 aperture on the front. Under good light, the main camera captures good details in close-up, edges were well defined and the colors weren't exaggerated. Landscapes also packed in a fair bit of detail, and HDR seemed to do a decent job by balancing the exposure. For video, the OPPO K1 can shoot up to 4K resolution. Now to the decider, the price of both the devices. Samsung A7 comes for 18,990, that is 2,000 rupees more than the OPPO K1, which is priced at 16,990. So now you decide you want the most feature-rich mid-range device with features like in-glass fingerprint scanner, 3D gradient back and a water drop notch display, or a phone with 3 cameras.